Hey guys, my name is Hashim Mohammed and welcome to this hack project tutorial. In this video, we'll be building a web application that allows you to share ideas or wish lists with your family and friends without any coding knowledge. And we're going to use something called Bubble. So this video is going to be a little fast to follow, especially for those people who haven't used Bubble as of yet. So for those people, what I recommend is that there's a link in this description to go check out my basics to Bubble course. It's you can go check out Skillshare. There's 2 months. It's completely free. So go check that course out and then come back here if you haven't used Bubble before. So I'm gonna move a little faster, and typically all my hack projects move a little fast. So what exactly is that we're developing today? So I actually created this. Creator School was something like this before, and what was Creator School is it's a place where you can share your project ideas with anybody, and it looks something like this. But this is what I'm going to do, but I'm also going to build upon this for a different use case also. It's going to be almost equally complex. So this is what I'm going to do is like, so this is what the project looks like. So you can share your app ideas or whatever it is, and it's going to have different categories. When you jump in, you can discuss about this project, or you can share this project with other people, and yeah, you can share what are the constraints and all this stuff. This is a very complicated and sophisticated use case of what I'm trying to suggest. But so this is an idea sharing platform, right? So you can build this as part of your website or your product, or you can spin this idea up and make something that's totally your own. Or you can also build something like this. So it's like you bookmark all your favorite products on Amazon, right? What if you could save links or just any products or services or anything like that into your profile? You just say, I want this. And any of your friends can look at your wish list and say, oh, maybe I also want this to my thing. So I click on that button and that product will be added on to my wish list. So it will be like a social network where people can sort of share their wish list. So that's what this project is going to be. So it's like when I'm describing it in words, it sounds like almost two completely different projects. But in terms of the workflow and how it's going to be developed, the procedure is almost literally the same, if not the steps in the case of creating a wish list sharing platform is a little higher. I mean, it's a little more because you might need the feature to be able to upload images of the product or service because, well, without images, the listing are gonna suck. Okay, so in the case of ideas, this is a again we're gonna create something way more simpler than this, but it's gonna work. Maybe even better than this. All right, so let's go to Bubble, create a new account, and open a new app, and then let's call this new app the idea. I don't know, idea ideator or something. I don't know if this app is available. Okay, but let's go with this name. And so now you can keep all this if you want to, but I would suggest you to go with the blank page. And let's close the system down because we don't really need any of these things. Let's remove the description. Um, yeah, I think this is cool enough. Let's go ahead and start building the pages. But before I start building a page and designing those pages, let me sort of describe how the application is going to be structured so you just don't get. I mean, there's a lot of pages here, so there's a login, there's sign up again, definitely that I'm going to put into a pop up. But like if you look into this, there are so many pages. There's a profile page, there's the idea sharing page. There's actually this project is a lot more sophisticated, so I will not get into because all these features are not necessary. There's even terms and conditions page. So In this video, we'll be building three basic pages. It doesn't mean that there's only three pages in this whole website. It's that there are three templates of web pages. So these are dynamic web pages. So those three web pages would be: one is the home page where you can share or browse all the ideas. Okay, so you can filter, search, and everything. All the ideas or wish lists that everybody has shared together. This is where you can find them. And the second is the profile page. That's where you'll be able to see what that particular person has added or about that person itself. And ideally, these are the only two pages. There's another page which I'm not able to recall at this point. I guess it's again. There's apologies for the YouTube comment, but anyway. So the third page I believe is the sign up and login page, but I'm pretty sure there's some other page that I'm missing here. But there's three pages. So one is where you would have the home page. The second page is the profile page, where you'll display all the submissions and the details of the user. And the third thing is um, the sign up and the login. All right. So in the index, which is where we had the home page, let's go ahead and start designing the home page. So I'm just gonna give a button. I'm gonna give a title here, and I'm gonna call this ideator. All right. You can call this whatever you want. And I'm gonna put this over here, and on the other side I'm gonna have a button that says submit an idea. Oh, this is okay. So this is what I was saying is the idea sharing page is a different platform. I mean, different page. Now this is where people will be able to see all. I mean, people will be able. This is the page from this button is where people will be able to submit ideas or share those ideas, um, or create those ideas maybe. And we're gonna have in this home page the list of all the ideas. We're gonna put them on a repeating list. I'm just gonna configure this, make this row as 2, and make it extended vertical scrolling. And maybe this 2 is fine. Separator would be none. And I would say columns maybe 2, and everything is cool, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna extend this a little more. Center horizontally, and I'm going to put this down a little bit more. Okay, that's cool. Now we have a repeating list. Now let's prepare the listing here. Now this is how it's gonna work. If you notice how the web page is, in this case it's too subtle. Like you can, it's not subtle, but I would say it's almost noticeable. But this is what I'm gonna do. Um, the creation of, when you share an idea, look at this. So I tell them that there's only two fields that you want to enter. The first thing is the like whatever is the category of the problem, and then you type in your idea, and then you can click on request ideas. But before you do that, as you can see here, it says, oh, you need to create an account. But there's just two fields. But if you want to upload an image, you can upload that image later, so that the process of sharing the idea is very easy. So that's why what I do is I get the category of that post, and then I assign the image automatically. So you can do that from the data tab later. When we do that, I'll teach you how to do that, or you can do it from the workflows also, or you can also do it from here, the conditions tab. So there's a number of ways you can approach this thing. Is I'm going to color code each of these problems based on the categories. That's what I'm trying to say here. So there's going to be different kinds of things. There's going to be different kinds of submissions. Some are going to be products and services, and some are going to be ideas. So let's go ahead and sort of create a drop down where people can filter down those two types of things. So I'm going to say filter down, no, filter maybe posts. So some of these are going to be ideas, and some of these are going to be products and services. Now, these are not categories, but these are like types of posts. So these are the fundamental types. So then we're gonna have the other type. I mean, over here. So we're gonna have the categories. So choose categories, and then we're gonna have all the categories you want. Okay, so politics, maybe fashion, food, health, technology. I mean, I put science and technology in one. Um, Science and technology, arts, maybe this. Let's arts and design, film. Good, the thing I can just go on forever. So I'll stop from here. These are all the categories we have, but make sure this is all the categories that you use on the backend as well. So that's also important. So these are the two filter options you can use in this platform. So yeah, so I think let's pull this over here and let's pull this over here because it has to be a little aligned. It looks a little better that way. All right, so we have the basic platform. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to put in a group so that we can create that. So let's go ahead and edit that style and give that shadow look so that it stands out from that white background. um, let's make the background here as a flat color, and let's give it a slight pinch of an off-white color, like maybe very subtle. Okay, maybe over to the side, maybe very very subtle. So it should maybe be this much. All right, that's good enough. Okay, let's go to styles now and make this a little. Let's make the shadow a little less noticeable, like this. All right, maybe 40. Yeah. So let's make it 8. Okay, that's too much, I would say. So let's make it 0 for now. So when I hover onto it, let's give that a weight. So I would say something like. mm, I know what you guys are thinking. Like, why am I wasting time on this? It's like, well, I mean, the presentation of the idea is also crucial. I so Okay, so there's one more button I need, which is I want to say I work this. Um, so this is the button where people can use to sort of add it to their profile. Now, obviously, you need to be account. You need to have an account to use this button. We'll check that later. So there is one site which I go to always, and it's called emojipedia.com to get all the emojis on my computer. So I'm gonna search for something like want or nah, that's not the kind of thing we want. Like let's go to hands maybe. Um, so maybe this is a kind of an emotion that I'm looking for. So I want this. I'm gonna put an emoji there, so it looks kind of fun. And I'm gonna add a text here. So what this thing is, the title. So I'm gonna give this maybe a header to light. You can design this however you want, but this can make it a little presentable, alright? So I'm gonna put this like this, and then give it a description. The body, some like small description will do. So let's make it body light, and yeah, I guess there's no need for putting giving it too much space. So I would say maybe give some space to show how many people have voted for this, like how many people want this. So let's put a group here, and I'm going to create. You know what? Since this looks weird, I'm going to like create a new style and base this off the group. Yeah, group B, and I'm gonna call this new style as uh, vote box. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to edit style, and I'm going to say border style is solid, and I'm going to make this a little subtle, and I'm going to make the roundness to 5. And just look at this, there's going to be a small border over it, so I can display the number of people who have selected I want this. So it says increase the number of rows to 3 so that we can accommodate more items here on this little cell. So I'm just centering this. I don't know if this is perfect. I don't think so it is. So I'm going to give this more space. Um, I guess now it's a little better, right? So we're going to display the number here also. So let's get the value later, but just so I wanted to get some number, so let's put 34 here and check it out. It looks a little not proper, so let's make it in the center. Um, that's too small. Let's make it something like maybe I'm gonna use this, put it in the center, and center vertically and center horizontally. And so we have the number. So this number will be fetched dynamically depending on the instance on this item here. We'll do this later, but we have the basic structure done. We also may need the button to delete this item, but this is only for the person who has created this item. So if I'm the person who created this item, and if I uh, then I can delete this post if I want to. So maybe let's give this a different style, like something like a danger button. Yeah, this is more like it. Maybe trash. There you go. I'm gonna take this emoji and put it here. And yeah, this is not going to be visible by default. I'm gonna like hide this later. But yeah, let's keep it like this for now. You can also display the category of this post. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna display the category of this thing. So let's display the category. Wait, let's display the category of this post. All right. So the category is maybe. Oh no. Wait. I'm gonna display the category, but let's keep it like this for now. I'm gonna make this maybe header file. I want it to be a little bold, so this is gonna be the title and which category this thing belongs to. I'll print that here, and then yeah, I think we have everything. So we're gonna color code this depending on what the category is. I will do later, okay? So looks like we have the most important parts of the UI done. Now let's move on to the profile, which is we're just gonna copy paste some things here. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm going to create a new profile page. Okay, let's not clone from anything. Let's click on create, and I'm going to extend this a little wider. Ideally, the width size should be 1200. That gives a very reasonable amount of space to kickstart the project. So I'm going to center horizontally. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the name of the person here, whoever is the owner of this profile. It can be me, it can be anybody. So yeah, um, yeah. So I'm going to display the name of the person here, and ideally you need to have a reusable item for the header, which is what I would suggest, instead of copy pasting this ideator thing everywhere in every single platform. That's not the best thing to do. You need to have a logout also, but you know what? I don't. Okay, yeah, you need the logout thing as well. Um, I don't know. Okay, let's put this over here. Like, let's put the logout here, and let's put the submit button here. And if you're a designer, you can tell why I'm doing that. It's actually not really important. Maybe a little important, but yeah. So I'm gonna hide this logout if the person is logged in, obviously. But yeah. So I have to copy the same buttons here. So let's copy these two buttons and paste it over here. Now the difference is that in the home page, you're gonna see all the posts and ideas, but over here you're only gonna display all the items that all the posts that this person has created. So that's the difference between these two. But the UI is pretty much the same. So that's what we have this year. Just ignore the background noise, by the way. So we have the two most important things done, but we still need to create the part where people are maybe able to share those ideas or wish list or whatever it is. So we're going to create another page here for that is going to be the well, wait, let's call this create post. Um, and this is where the person will be able to create the post. So you can also put this in a separate pop-up, or you can put this on the home page like I did. Um, again, so if you want to access this website, you can go to this old, which is this URL creator-school.bubbleapps.io. I'm not gonna put the link in the description because if I'm gonna put, some people are gonna get confused with this and what's my official website link. By the way, the official site is creatorschool.com. This is not the official site anymore. It was an experiment, but yeah, um, just so you guys know. So this button is going to take me back to this page, which is over here, which is what we haven't done anything with it yet. Let's put a group here, and I'm going to give it a off-white color, just like we have over here. I'm going to take FA, and by the way, we didn't add this color to the profile, and that's why it was looking weird. So let's add that background color, and now let's go to the create post. And let's add that FA color, and let's sort of put resize this, and let's enter in all the information that we want from the user. Okay, obviously the title of whatever the thing is, so title of the product or service. And if it's an idea, you can give it whatever you want. So the next thing is going to be, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to say link to this post to learn more. Maybe that could be a more appropriate format. What else? So you want to enter the category of this. If you remember, it's a drop down, so you want to enter the drop down. I don't really remember how much spacing I gave it between those elements. I'm a really bad designer, you know what? So I'm going to, oops. Now designers are gonna cringe over this tutorial. It's okay, it's okay. I'm not making for, it's not a design tutorial really. It's okay. Choose category. And then these are the things that you need to enter most importantly, but you can also have a description, which is, I guess we now completed all the fields we need. So we have them here, some description here. Now we're gonna have the button to ultimately create a post. So share idea or share post, whatever you want to do it, okay? I keep it like this. This will create that post. And now let's go to index here. Now let's color code this and bind all that to data. But I think an ideal thing to do is before we go into that, let's finish the data set. All right. So let's begin designing the backend of our site. Now we just completed the UI of our application. Now let's start designing the brain for our application. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to create a type called post or anything that you want. And this is not going to be visible to the user, so it doesn't really matter. The first thing is the idea itself. So the idea title or whatever you want. I just name it as idea itself because, okay, maybe we want to call this, okay, just keep it idea. And this is an idea sharing platform, but if you're doing something like a wishlist sharing platform, that might be called as title. Some description if you want a detailed description. There's also text and there's also category to each and everything, which is also a text by the way. And there's also going to be a type. Now, because there's only going to be like one type of data in this whole application, at least for what we're going to do today, we don't need to like sort of relate it to other data types, at least until now. Maybe, yeah, of course, votes or something like I want this, maybe. Um, you could say something like votes if you want to. So, um, let's do something like all right, so let's say once, let's call this once, and let's call this user, and say the field is a list. Now this is where it holds all of the people who sort of like this or want this kind of an idea to be implemented or want this item as well. So this is one of the most important fields ever, so make sure you create that like that. Okay, now on the repeating list over here, you're going to say the type of the content is post. You want to say data source is do a search for post. Now you're going to list all of the posts in the whole network. But what we're going to do is if you want to do something, you want to like filter down any results. Like for example, if any field contains something, then you can do that over here. Now this is the homepage feed, so I don't really need to do anything much. Now I'm going to select the group, say type of the content is post, and I'm going to say current sales post. So that's going to fetch the, so whichever instance of the post it is, I'm going to select that post, and I'm going to select the title, and I'm going to take the dynamic data, the current sales post idea, which is the title itself. Now the category, again, so parent I mean parent groups post, what's it called, type, no, I mean it's category. Okay, and then over here is description. If you want, you can have this. Now in this case I do have it, so I'll do it like this. Now as soon as I click on this button, this number here will increase. So instead of 34, I'm gonna now fetch this. Now, as you can see here, it's actually wrapped inside a group, and this group's type of content is not. So I'm gonna say post and parent groups post. So this is going to take the group of this, I mean the data type of this, and this is going to take the data type of this instance of the repeating list. So I'm going to select this parent groups post once count. So that's going to display how many people have wanted this instance of this item. And now I'm going to say I don't want the user to be able to click on this button, or maybe, okay, let's do something like this. When this post, okay, current sales post once contains the current user refers to the person who's currently logged in, so that is you. So if it contains, then you can say you can disable this button, but what this will mean is that the person will not be able to like remove this item from his list, so that'll be a problem. And delete will completely delete this item altogether, so that's not what we want to do. So I want to say something like if that's going to be the case, I'm going to change the text instead of from I want this to say remove this. So I want to say I don't want this. So I can change the maybe the emoji for that. Okay, so they can be something like no or negative or something like that. Let's go to not no, we have prohibited. I'm gonna take this and I'm going to replace that with this. Now it says I don't want this. So over here, I want to also highlight this like using a background color if I have voted for this, so that I know that I've selected this. So I'm gonna go to the condition of the select a text here, and then I'm going to say if the parent group's post once contains current user, which means that I have liked this post, then I want to change the font color to white, because I'm going to change the background to something of a color. So that's going to be something like a red color. I'm going to do the same thing here. Parent groups post. I'm going to select the group now. I'll say once contains current user. Um, and you want to select that the background color will be something like maybe red in color. Okay, so that will display a red color for the background in this if I select I want this. Now once I click on this, the button will change to I don't want this. So we want to define the workflow, but before we do that, let's finish the delete. And we don't want this delete to be visible all the time, so we want to say if the parent group's post creator is not the current user, then what do you want it to do? So you want to say we want to hide this. So only if the parent group's post is the current user, that thing will be visible. So which means that if I'm not the creator of this thing, I won't be able to see this button. And also let's sort of disable this button, clickable, just in case somebody figures out some way to sort of open this on the inspector panel in Google Chrome. But actually, technically, people can still do that, but it is like the security stuff, the extra layer of security stuff. So let's go and finish the workflow. Um, Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say select that, and I'm going to say data things. I'm going to say make changes to a thing, and say parent groups post. That refers to the current instance of that. And I'm going to say once is equal to add the current user. So that is if the parent groups once doesn't contain the current user, which means what this is trying to do is that if I have not wanted this item, then it will add me to the wants list. Now we want to copy this, like you can say edit copy over the selection, and then you can paste this again, and you can just remove the wants to remove and doesn't contains to contains. Now this does the opposite. So from this selection, we said that the conditions here, we said that when the user already contains, which is what will happen over here. So if it now contains, if I've already liked it, the button text changes to I don't want it. So when it's I don't want, then it's going to say, then I'm going to make the function of the button to remove the current user if I click on that button again. So so that's what happens when I click on this button. Now let's go and select the delete button and sort of delete this. If, of course, this is not going to be visible if I am not the creator of this user, but yeah, so this button will be deleted and I have everything just ready. Now I should have copied this item here, and let's copy this whole repeating list and go to the profile and delete this whole thing and paste it over again. Now the only thing that's different here in this is that let's go back to search for post here and add a constraint and say, okay, page title, by the way, should be user, and field for readable URL could be anything. So it's ideal that you have something like a name field so that the user knows who the person is. So let's create the text field for the user. So the text. So you want to say search for post. I want to say created by equal to current page user. Now when you do that, what happens is I'm only going to display all of the posts that are created by the person who is the owner of this page's profile. So instead of the name of the profile, I'm going to display current page users. Again, current user refers to the person who's logged in. So I can be viewing my own profile or somebody else's profile. So for that reason, I'll say current page user's name. Now you can extend this if you want to, if somebody has like a weird big name, so you can give it some space. Alright, so we have the basic thing done, and let's go check out the create post now. So what we want to do is you want to also start a workflow and first create that post, that idea, okay? And we're going to save a bunch of things. The first thing I'm going to save is a category, description, the idea itself, the type itself, and once, no need. So I'm just going to plug in the values. The category comes from the drop down. So that's that. I'm going to say to take the description and plug in over here. Idea, which is the title itself. So that's going to be the title of the product. And the type is, well, is this a product or service or whatever? What is it? So this is going to be an idea. So I can type in a static value like this, or you can say, what is this? Is this really a product or a service? You can create another drop down for it. if you want, or you can keep two different pages for it. Now, in my suggestion, I wouldn't like, because I'm doing two different things. As you can see here, ideas is one selection. So I haven't actually formatted. I haven't made these two drop downs work. I'll work on that in just a second. So let's go to create post and let's continue working on this. So it creates an idea. Let's paste this over here. Okay. So once this post is created, it will be created. But next time I come to this page, I don't want to have all those previous values present there. So I'm going to reset those values, and I'm going to send them back to the home page, which is where all those values will be shown. Or you can throw them to the profile page if you want them to. So let's go to logout here, and I'm gonna like view this button only if the current user is logged in. So I'm gonna say only if the current user isn't logged in, then you want to hide this. So I'm gonna say the visible is false. Um, so that's going to be enough. Now I'm gonna select this and say click on the logout button. I'm gonna say log the user out, and we will choose the condition what we want to do for the login later. So submit an idea. Now, when he clicks on the submit an idea, let's go ahead and sort of throw him to a login page because, well, I think we need to do it anyways. Let's click on create. Let's do this really quick. I'm gonna put a group, and I'm going to select center, and I'm going to take the background from here, which is FA. I'm going to throw them to this page if they're not logged in, which is if they click on the create post directly. So there's going to be login and sign up here. So it's going to be email, password, and this will be password. And choose the right content format here. So there's the proper form check up there. Add the button over here. All right, so that will do this little login, and let's kind of push this to one side, and we're gonna have the sign up also. So before we do that, let's go ahead and finish this the login process first. So I'm gonna say um, log the user in and plug in those two values. And remember the email, I'll say default yes, but actually when they're saving the password on the web browser, they can actually change the settings. So when the user is logged in, you want to check check the condition, and we want to redirect him to the let's throw him to the create post page, which is where he'll be able to create anything he wants. So I'm sorry, guys. So I want to like sort of create another group here, and let's change this to sign up. Okay, and let's change this to something like maybe warning thing. So I know it's not warning. Let's change it to success. Like, okay, now over here, instead of saying email, say desired email and desired password. Okay, we will also want to collect the name of that person because we want to display the name of that person as well on our profiles. So your name, maybe. So that's one extra field on sign up. So let's do that, and let's go to sign up here, and let's do account, sign the user up, emails, and these are the two values that I need to sign the user up. But you can also save additional information here. We have one extra information, which is name, and we can give that we can plug in the value, which is your name's value. Okay, so in Bubble, by the way, anybody whoever is signed up is automatically uh, stated as a person who's logged in, unless and until you have the section checked, which is send the unless you want email confirmation, then you can do that. Otherwise, anybody who's successfully signed up will be able to is by default logged in, so he'll be thrown to the create post page. All right, so I guess now let's go to the submit an idea button here, and let's go to navigate and say I want to go to the create post page when the current user is logged in, and I want to copy and paste that button. I'll say destination would be login if the current user isn't logged in. So I want to copy this and actually paste this into every single page wherever this button is. So let's go ahead and repeat this process. So I'm going to say go to page um, login if the current user isn't logged in. I'll say if the user is logged in, then I want to send him to the create post page. Cool. So now, I'm sorry. So now we have the current user thing here. How are we going to display this profile here? So on the index page, let's create another link where we can now display my profile. So it's going to be like this, and let's make this a outline primary. Oh no, maybe not this. Maybe something like this. Or does that work? No, I guess let's make it outline like this, same as logout, except let's go ahead and throw him to his profile. So say navigation, go to page, go to profile. Data to send is repeating groups posts. Wait, what? No, say current user. Oops, sorry, current user. So current user refers to the person who's logged in, and I also don't want to display this if the user isn't logged in. So I say current user isn't logged in. So you will not be able to do this button if unless you log in to your account. So yeah, so I guess that's it. Let's go to the profile here. I guess we have to go check this logout button. So I say account is logged the user out. I click on this button, it will go to that section. I guess all is good. You can create the settings page also, but there's one more thing that I forgot to do is to like kind of show who's the creator of this idea, so you can open his profile and display all his posts. Let's do that quickly in some way. Like let's put it over here, just below the description. Maybe not the best way to do it, but okay, it's okay just because we're demonstrating. Um, let's do it this way now. So you want to say by the person name, so it's going to be bold. Now let's say person's name by the name. So when I go to rich text editor, I'm going to say the name is going to be bold, so it's like that. And you can see here the syntax is highlighted. So instead of this name, I'm going to erase that and go to insert dynamic data and say parent groups pose creators name. So the name is going to appear on bold here. And I'm going to say that if anybody's going to click on this little text here, it will go to the profile page of whoever is the creator of this current post. So that person's profile will be open. There's one last thing here that we still have to do, and that is we want to make these two drop downs work. I'm going to go to the repeating list here. I'm going to say when the categories value is not empty, we want that means if you have selected anything, we want to change the data source of this to say do a search for. I want to search for all the posts, but the category contains uh, this wait, drop down choose categories value. So basically what I'm saying is that if there's some value here, you want to search now, you want to change the data source of this to display all the posts where the category value contains the value that he has selected on this drop down. You want to do the same thing and copy and paste it over here, and let's say filter post. So for that, you want to say drop down filter post value is not empty. You want to search for all the posts where the the type is equal to or contains, whichever works. Because it's just a one letter word, it's okay. I want to say filter post value. That's it. So I guess we can start previewing it now. and test it out. So let's start with the first. We have the My Profile button without even logging in. What is the problem? And oh, we forgot to say this. Okay, well, let's reload this now. So we don't have any data here. So let's start actually submitting ideas. So we need to sign up for the first time. So let's. Oh, and one more thing. If we go to the login here, your name is actually the content format is email. Make sure that is text because it will not allow me to proceed without doing that. So let's go ahead and now do this. All right, so let's refresh this page again. All right, so now it's perfect. So I say my name and then I should add creator, yeah, creatorschool.com. Then it's just gonna be some example password. And as you can see here, it says if you want to save this thing here, you can save it if you want to. Okay, the first idea is going to be about a license, not a licensing system. I'm gonna share an idea for a product or service. Maybe I'm gonna say marketplace for university students. And it's a lame thing there, but it's okay. So I'm gonna say HTTPS google.com in this case. So I'm gonna say the category is, let's say, I don't know, it's science and technology. So students can post stuff and gigs for sale, post stuff, services, and gigs for sale. Yeah, I'll stop with this. So let's click on share post. So that's gonna throw me to the home page. And as you can see here, yeah, you can, if you want to add this to your own profile. In this case, I'm logged in, so I don't want to be able to add the same thing back into my own profile. So I will say I'll add another condition that says if the parent group's post creator is the current user, which is that if I'm the creator of this post, then don't allow me to click on this. So this element isn't clickable is selected. So you want to do that because you don't want to be able to add your own post to your list of ones. So yeah, just so you want to go to profile here, you want to copy the same conditions over here. So you want to paste condition. All right, so let's go ahead and refresh this now. Now you shouldn't be able to like sort of click on this button anymore, but it's okay. Yeah, there you go. So as you can see here, we're now in my own profile, which is, again, if you want to check it out, it's my profile. You can submit an idea now directly. So there you go, it's perfect. Now I want to check this. I want this function. So I want to log out of here. As you can see here in the logout function on the profile, we don't have this condition where we want to hide this if the user isn't logged in. So when the current user isn't logged in, you don't want to show this. So now if I refresh this page, that button is gone. So let's go ahead and go to the index. We don't really have a button for going to the home page, which is embarrassing. It's okay. So here we go. Now, I think we're in the home page, right? So let's go to submit an idea. So let's go and create another account because we already have an account here, but let's sort of create another account. So I'm going to say Ryan at email.com and then test 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to sign up for an account, and now I'm going to, it's okay, I don't really need to post anything, but you know, I'm just say product hunt, something like that. So https producthunt.com. The category is again the same thing, whatever you want, share some posts. Okay, so now we have two posts here. Now this belongs to the person who is the user that I created first. So if I want to add this to my list, I can just click on this button, and that button should be on my list. I think if I go to my profile, it doesn't really add it, right? So what's the problem? Um, if I go to my profile, it still doesn't add it. So let's go and check this out, shall we? So I want to say, okay, I see what's happening now. Now I want to check this here. Um, all right. So it turns out there's only one way we can fix this. Is you want to like duplicate this, and let's create this another button, and let's call this. Go to the conditions tab. Take this. All right. Now you want to remove this one here and make the thing as isn't clickable. Okay. Now this one is going to be. I don't want this, and if it doesn't contain the user, then um, actually not clickable. I'm sorry. You want to say visible. Okay. So what this means is that we're gonna create two different buttons now instead of this because it's getting there's a problem in the workflow. So instead of this, I'm gonna remove this and say visible. Oh, say visible is this. All right. So I want to now keep it like this. If it contains, which means that if I have already clicked on want, then then this will be visible. If I don't have if I have not clicked on the want for the selection, then this will be visible. So I'll just put this on top of each other, but don't worry, only one of them will work at a time. Now let's go back here and go to start edit workflow and delete the other one that says, or just cut this like this, cut it, and then select this one and remove this condition. Now, although it works most of the time, sometimes we get this problem. So let's go back to I don't want to, and let's paste it here. And let's remove this condition now because we've already fixed that with the other conditions tab. So now let's just put it on top of each other. Now, let's check if everything's okay. Mm, okay, now let's go ahead and preview this. But before I preview this, let's fix this one out, okay? Um, Alright, so let's select this. Oh, it's already working. Alright. Alright, there you go. So I click on what I want, and there you go, it's working fine. Now, the thing is that if you're not signed in or signed up, then it would still store it on your browser cookie. So if you refresh this, you can still see this. So if you want to make this only accessible to the people who are logged in, you can also say, and the current user is logged in. So, say isn't logged in. So you want to now make this visible or something like that. Okay. So you can make this button only work only if the person is logged in. So, um, by the way, if you want to keep track of like two different tabs, then you want to keep of the wants and the ones he created. So the ones he wants, okay. Now everything that he created is also something that he want, and everything that he clicks on want is maybe not something that he created. Okay, you can just click on this button and add it to his own list. So if you want to sort that out, let's go to the profile here. You know what? Let's go back to the index. Just copy this and let's go to the profile and let's paste this over here. All right, and then let's go ahead and center this. Search for post. So created by equal to current page user. All right, that's cool. Now you want to go to the posted here, and we have all these things here. So now what we're going to do is we want to say over here we want to say display list. Do a search for post created by equal to current page user. Um, this is the posted one, so all the posts that he created. And I want to go to the wants here. Now wants are you want to do the same thing. You're just going to copy this and then you want to put it over here. Now what we want to do is we're going to remove this created by and say wants contains current page user. So this is all the button that he wants and this is all the things that he posted. So now if you want to just check it out, let's go to index here. Let's go preview this now. Let's go ahead and first log in. So um, I'm gonna go log in, and logged in as Ryan now. So let's go to the homepage. I don't really even have the link to go to the homepage. Okay. Now this is posted by hashers. I click on I want. So if I go to the profile, I didn't post this, but if I go to once, I can see the things that I have been wanting. So that's pretty cool, right? So that way you can keep track of the things that you want and posted. Um, One other thing that you can do is if you go to create profile, you want to say that everything that he posts is also something that he wants, obviously, right? So what you might want to do is you want to go here and you might want to say create and make changes to a thing. And the post that you just created, maybe you want to add the current page, I mean the current user, whoever is the person logged in, to his want. So there is one want by default to every single post. I hope that makes sense. So that's a simple thing. Oh, by the way, we have 12 issues. Let's check this out. Let's remove all these conditions that we have here because we don't really need them. Um, let's remove all of these conditions. All right, that's cool because we don't really need any of those. But we're doing this from the workflows. That's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you think this project is cool and if you have any other variations of this project, then feel free to share it with me on the comment section below. Visit creatorschool.com for more exciting content like this and more tutorials to develop stuff without code. And I shall see you guys in another project video tutorial very soon. Thank you guys for watching and subscribe to this channel.